Get out of here. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this free webinar that I am going to post all over social media for people to watch because I want to give everybody some free information on puppies. It's puppy season, so why not give out a little bit of free information? So, first, we are going to talk about socialization and outings. So, what does socialization mean? Socialization is the desensitization and habituation to novel stimuli. So, when we're talking about puppies, we don't actually mean interacting with other dogs and people. We actually mean anything in the world that your dog can see, taste, smell, feel on their paws. What's the other one I missed? And here, that's the one I missed. Whenever I go through the senses, I always miss one. Um, that is what we're talking about when we talk about socialization. We talk about raising confident puppies. We talk about them getting comfortable with anything that their senses can interact with. All right. So, going on an outing, we're going to take our puppy on an outing. The first thing you want to remember, bring lots of treats for them. We want to create positive associations. We want them to be happy, happy puppies, right? So, we are going to bring lots and lots of treats along so that we can feed them and create those happy associations. We can also bring toys if our puppy really likes toys. Next, we're going to talk about long lines. So rather than a standard 6-foot leash, I always tell people for most puppies, I like a good old 15-foot leash. I want to give them space to roam and sniff and experience the world and not feel like they have to pull me around to do that. It also removes some of the walking from my part. 3, 4, no leash greetings. So let's not have our puppy greet other dogs on leash. We don't need them doing that. They don't need to do that. They can learn to like other dogs without actually having to sniff that dog. And the fifth and final thing on this, illnesses. Parvo, Giardia, kennel cough. There's a whole bunch more. Until your dog is fully vaccinated, it's important to kind of avoid high dog traffic areas if you want them to walk around, meaning try to go to places where you don't see many dogs wandering around. Your dog can gain a lot of confidence from those spots. If you do want to take your dog into like a pet store or a dog friendly place that is pretty trafficked by dogs, sometimes you can put them in their car. Sometimes you can put them in your cart, or you can put them in one of those collapsible wagons and they can ride around with you in a wagon. They do still get the enrichment of the world riding around in that wagon. Potty training. This one's always a big one for pretty much everybody I talk to. The biggest part of potty training, schedule it. I always tell people when you get a puppy home, just schedule it. Put it on a schedule. So when your puppy comes home with you, they're going to go out every 30 minutes. They're going to go out every 30 minutes to potty. If they wake up from a nap, they're going to go out immediately. After they're done drinking water, eating, or playing, we're going to take them out to go potty because typically they're going to potty afterwards. So on that first week, we start at 30 minutes. The next week, we go to 45 minutes. The next week we go to an hour. If your puppy starts to struggle, you just go back a little bit of time to when they were successful and you go to there, right? So if I am at taking them out every hour and I try to go to an hour and 15 minutes and my puppy is pottying at an hour and 10 minutes, that means that I'm going to take them out at an hour and 5 minutes or even at an hour so that they don't potty inside. It just means their bladder needs a little bit more time to grow a little bit stronger. The bladder is a muscle. So I want you to remember, the more they use it, the stronger it gets, not the less they use it. Meaning your goal isn't, I need my dog to hold it in as long as possible. Your goal actually is, I want my dog to potty a lot because that is how they're going to grow the strength of that bladder. And 3, reward them each time they potty. Tell them they're an amazing dog. They did the greatest thing in the world. Thank you for doing it in the grass. Yay, such a good puppy. Thank you. I'm glad I don't have to scoop it off my carpet. All right, we're going to talk about licking, digging, sniffing, and chewing. These are 4 natural decompressing behaviors for dogs. You really can't stop them. You can put them towards things that you would rather they do, right? So the first goal is find what your dog likes. Does your dog like to chew? Does your dog like to sniff? Does your dog like to dig? Whatever, right? Your dog tends to have a preference for one. Find that preference and go, okay, how can I help you, right? So here we have a puppy chewing on a shoe. Well, most of us don't like our shoes being destroyed. So what I may do is I may go, okay, I'm going to put my shoes off where you can't reach them, and I'm going to make sure that I have a plethora of other chews that you will enjoy. Meaning, I may have a Nyla bone, I may have a real bone, I may have a yak cheese chew, I may have a little bully stick. And I'm going to have each of those down so that the puppy has a plethora of choices to go, you know what, I want to chew. Here's the thing I want to chew on. I may have a few plush toys down, right? Manage the undesirable. So again, puppy chewing on a shoe. How did I manage that? Well, I put the shoe up where the puppy couldn't get to it. My puppy is gonna chew on my remotes. I'm gonna put him out of the way. My puppy likes to dig in my backyard. I'm gonna go stand back there with my puppy, make sure he potties, and then bring him back inside. If my puppy likes to dig, maybe I'll go build him a little sandbox that I can bury stuff in, and that can be the designated space for digging, right? My puppy really likes to lick my furniture, which some people hate. Here's a licky mat that has some Greek yogurt on it for you. Here is a bone. Some dogs like to lick bones. Here's a bone for you to lick. Sniffing. Honestly, I can't find an instance where I don't like sniffing and I feel the need to manage it. However, sometimes we like to be able to put it towards something. So we can get our dog snuffle mats, and we'll talk about what a snuffle mat is later. Allowing our dog to sniff on walks. Sniffing is great mental enrichment for them, and we really want to encourage that from our puppies. It is something we want to see more of, not less of. Passive enrichment. I love passive enrichment for puppies. That is enrichment for them that I don't have to be directly involved in. I just noticed my camera is in the way of it, so we're just gonna move it out of the way a little bit. Anything that requires thought and your dog has to work at without your assistance, right? So in this, I don't know how to point at it. I wish. So there's this German Shorthair Pointer that's pushing around that red plastic toy that is called the Kong Wobbler. I love the Kong Wobblers. You stick the food in them, and then they have to shove them around and knock them all over the place to get some food out of them. The next picture immediately to the now you may see my mouse. The next picture of the orange, blue, and green things are called West Paw Topples. Can I give me a second? To think about that one. They're called West Paw Topples. They are a stuffable toy, and your dog can lick and dig, or can lick and chew at them to get the stuff out of them. Now, this gray mat with the kind of grass-like fibers coming out from it, that is called a snuffle mat. What you do is you drop the food or whatever you want into that snuffle mat, and your dog has to sniff around and kind of dig at their nose to get it out. This red, white, and red toy here at the bottom is, I can't remember the specific name, but it is another enrichment toy where your dog has to sniff and then open the little cubbies to get the food out of it. And then there's this eye dig, which is a little kind of digging pillow thing that you can get. And sometimes what I do is I will place bones or food at the bottom of it because you can dig out this blue portion. And that is how I offer some enrichment for digging. So all of these are great things to offer your puppy because they will help satiate your puppy's needs and help them calm down without needing your direct involvement. Oh, did I lose my? There we go. Management in the home. So, how do we prevent our puppy from chewing on our couch legs, jumping and chewing on our older dog, taking our kids' toys, moving into another room and potting in the other room? Well, we have multiple options. We have our baby gates, our exercise pens, tethers, and kennels. So, the first one I'm going to talk about is our baby gates. You see this little golden retriever and little bowls of food and a little bowl of food on the other side. Baby gates are great for those tighter transition spots where you don't need your puppy to wander through, right? It's pretty straightforward, just like how you use it for a baby, keeps them out. Next thing we're going to talk about is the exercise pen, which is this little puppy in this round pen. I love exercise pens because you can typically remove a spot and they can actually cover larger openings in your house. However, they are a great way to contain your puppy with while still giving them space to move around and do things. I specifically love these for teaching something called an off switch. Next, we have tethers. You'll see this. This is an older dog. This isn't a puppy, but we do like tethers for puppies. Now, I do want you to pay attention. He's wearing a harness while he's on this tether. I love that. I love that he's wearing a harness because he can't hurt himself. He can't hurt himself as easily. So, a tether is exactly how it sounds. And you'll see it is a leash that has been wrapped around the leg of this piece of furniture, and it prevents him from moving too far out of the room, out of the way. So if you have a house that is super open, I have a house that's super open. I like tethers because it keeps the puppy from wandering too far away from me. You'll notice he has an enrichment toy as he is tethered there. That is so he doesn't get frustrated. It's very important to prevent that frustration. Lastly, we have our kennels. Remember that when we train kennels, we want them to be a happy place, right? This is not a place where you go because you're a bad dog. It's a place you just go sometimes because I need you to go there and I promise I'm going to come get you. And here's an item for you to work on. Here's a bully stick for you to chew on as I have to go do something that I can't take you along for, right? So we want to make sure that the kennels are a happy place, a positive place for our puppies to go to. Um, I like kennels. They are great for management as well. However, I tend to prefer exercise pens for management when I am inside the home and can't have them with me because it gives them a little bit more space to roam. And exercise pens are pretty mobile, so you can kind of pick them up and move them around easily. That way your puppy can practice that off switch in all the rooms of your house. I think that was our last one. So I hope you enjoyed that little video on puppies. This was just supposed to be a freebie for everybody. That way I can just give something to people. I don't know. There wasn't much to it. If you have any questions, there's no really ulterior motive, but if you have any questions regarding raising your puppy or want any assistance, you can contact me at instinctcanineacademy.com or you can call me at 913-484-6024. Have a wonderful day. And it was lovely sharing all this information with you guys.